Good day, everyone. This is the EJ3 Perspective Show. I'm Ed Johnson. I'm the host of this show. And today's topic that I'm going to discuss with you is entitled Imagination. And basically, as I've said before in my premiere episode, I deal with things from an anecdotal level. Although I have done and read my research on every topic that I've discussed so far and will also continue to do so. And I will also always encourage people not just to take what I say, or anyone for that matter, at face value. You know, you always do your own follow-up research or research around whatever you choose to do. But, you know, to keep it at, I'm not an academic or a professor or anything like that. I'm just your average Joe, so to speak, you know, that has a viewpoint, and I'm choosing to express it. And as I indicated for this week, I'm talking about imagination. Now, when I say imagination, I'm talking about the realm of imagination that deals with creativity and how that is lacking today, particularly with our young people. And I mean, there's some obvious factors I think people can pretty much, or many people can pretty much figure where a lot of this stems from. And a lot of it is true. But a more basic level, I know that when I was growing up, the whole aspect of going outside to play and to use my imagination to play with my friends or play by myself and, you know, imagine that I was characters that I enjoyed or liked of the day. I can think of a particular show. Some people may be familiar with it. I mean, now it's on TV and reruns. It's been on Sci-Fi or whatever. The show called The Invaders with Roy Thinnis. It basically dealt with aliens that could disguise themselves as humans, and they were trying to take over the Earth. But anyway, like me and a few other friends, you know, we would go out, you know, on the weekends or whatever and just go outside and play and pretend like we had, you know, get a stick or something and pretend like it's a ray gun or whatever, you know. And some people may say, well, like, you know, that's no big deal or whatever. But it really is a big deal because, like, when I did some reading and research when I was going to present this topic, as I'm doing now, it sort of brought out what I had thought just from my own life existence in terms of my observations, personal observations or whatever. I mean, kids are spending overall like less than 30 minutes a week, you know, going outside to play. And really going outside to play and just, you know, putting the laptop down, putting the Game Boys down, you know, putting all electronic devices down, that's like pulling teeth. There's actually studies that have shown that, you know, many kids would rather do homework, if you can believe that or not, than to go outside and play without having their smartphone or other electronic device with them. You know, that's how dependent, you know, starting at an early age that, you know, young people have started to you know, get trapped into that type of mindset. And so with that sort of goes into the other areas of, you know, all other areas of the arts in terms of music. Now, even in general, there's been a de-emphasis of music and fine arts, you know, in the public school systems pretty much throughout the country overall. And a part of that is extending further is that because with the advent of electronics, you know, electronic keyboards and synthesizers and, you know, things are more computer based. So when a lot of times when people want to rap or, you know, quote unquote, play music, they're not really learning a musical instrument or learning how to read or write music. It's just a matter of just like playing around and, and I'm not going to like disparage musical styles because each generation, has always come up with music styles. Even in terms of jazz, I have an appreciation for jazz as one form of music that I like. But I realized that like, jazz, when the heyday of jazz was like in my father's generation or whatever. But like, as he indicated when he told me when he was still living, a lot of times older people thought of jazz as like the devil's music, and the blues of that level too. I'm not really a big fan of the blues, but that's a part of black cultural heritage too that we need to keep hold of. But anyway, but the thing is that, the young people that wanted to get into that, they still learn music, so it wasn't like traditional music or gospel or whatever, delving into jazz, but you're still learning how to, the best ones, if they were able to, at some point learn music, they might have started out playing by ear or whatever, but they still, it still fostered the interest, to learn how to learn the talent and the skill to use your mind to, to learn music so you can be able to play an instrument of your choice. And that could go on today, so even in terms of like whether people got into rock or, soul music, same difference, jazz fell by the wayside, so to speak, in terms of the mainstream, but like Motown soul or, even rock, acid rock or whatever, there was starting to become more of a dependence on electronics, but still people overall were playing instruments. So now we get to the point now, as I indicate, where, you don't even have to learn music you play ever, you can just, punch in, play around on a synthesizer, and, rap, whatever. And I'm not going to get into that too in terms of disparaging that. I mean, a rap has a rich history. I'm not going to get into that. However, there's more. I mean, basically I'm saying in terms of the arts, we need to, diversify. You can, learn all aspects of culture and creativity and use your imagination to do so. So that's one aspect, and also even in terms of physical activity, just to sit up and be in a virtual world, with 3D glasses and things like that, obviously that's not good from a health standpoint either. And so that is, that stems on from, being an inactive, unimaginative child to many of us becoming unimaginative adults, where we're dependent on our electronic devices, smartphones, going home to veg out. And also it stems into, being less civil and, not incorporating social skills that are appropriate for the environment. By what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is that, we're so used to being personalized in terms of like being in our own world with our devices. Like when we go out, and I say we, I'm not just talking about, black people. I'm talking about all people really, of all ethnicities, younger people, or really not even just younger people, people of all generations, act in a manner that, that you think that you're at home, where you're not at home. Whereas in the past, like, going to like a movie theater or going to a concert or going to any type of venue where there had to be of a modicum of decorum, you didn't learn that because, you just think that everything is just instantaneous now, you do what you want to do it now, whatever. That also delves into like a lack of imagination. You haven't learned, the value of respect, knowing, the appropriate times to respond in the appropriate manner, and all these can stem from, a lack of imagination and a lack of creativity. a lack of appreciation for the arts, as I've indicated, the fine arts and painting and other things, the lack of physical activity, like, the taking away of gym classes. A lot of that is being cut, sometimes they say for budgetary reasons or whatever. Learning a foreign language, needless to say, that is a very useful skill and tool that could, not only in terms of for employment and career enhancement, but just for knowledge-based enrichment, could be something that can help it. And it also can stave off, as a person becomes older, Alzheimer's, and that's what studies have shown that, if you learn a foreign language and become proficient in that, or music, any type of other skill where, you have to incorporate your stretching your mental capacities can, stave off the symptoms of old age in that manner. That's been shown to be true. So, without trying to preach too much or whatever, I think sometimes, we just need to just take a day without, taking, our cell phones with us. Of course we would need them to communicate, but just, put them down for a second, read a book, get a real book, don't flip on the phone and do it. Get a real book, get a real magazine if you can find one. Go to the library, take a walk around in your block, actually see what's in your community. Go to your local community centers, your local zoos, art museums. Just basically, let's take some time out from our electronic devices and use our minds and our imaginations. And I think that our lives can be enriched. So I appreciate your time, everyone's time to take a listen to my, kind of went off on a tangent a little bit. I apologize. But again, this is the EJ3 perspective. You can feel free to share your thoughts and opinions, pro, con, or whatever, or different ideas or whatever. That is always welcome and appreciated. So you guys take care, have a good week, and I will see you next time. Take care.